I want to go over a little bit about the maintenance on the machine. It's fairly simple. The main maintenance you have on this is cleaning and oiling. I recommend after you clean it, you can use a brush or a vacuum to clean the grit off, or if you have the flood coolant system, is to rinse it down with the coolant and then brush that off and then rinse it again. And that's the best way to keep it clean. Never use an air hose on the machine because that'll blow the grit up underneath all the covers and raise havoc with the machine. As far as the oiling is concerned, you have two oil cups here in the back. You simply would fill the oil cups on either side. And then run them back and forth. Keep putting oil back in the cups. There's two grooves that run the length of the ways, and the oil is evenly distributed across it. There's also holes in those grooves that go down to the bottom. So once you've done the top, you would then position your spindle, your slide about in the center, and then run your infeed in and out here to put more oil in there. To oil your vertical slide, you simply would shoot oil in on either side of this slide, and that'll run right down on either side there. The frequency of doing that on a regular use is probably once a week or once every 2 weeks. Occasionally, probably every 3 to 6 months, depending on how often you use the machine, you want to check the runout on the chuck. What you do is use a ground pin or drill blank, put it in the chuck, grip it tight, take out the oscillation, and don't use a cam, so you're just spinning. And then put on a magnetic base indicator here and set it out so you're about 1 inch out. Now as you rotate that, it should maintain at least thousandths total indicator reading. If you're getting beyond that point, what you need to do is loosen these 3 screws that are on the chuck, and they hold it on the back plate. You loosen them up and then snug them back up fairly tight so that the chuck won't move very easily. And then as you get to the high spot, tap the body of the chuck with a rubber mallet or a plastic mallet to get it running true again, and then when that's set, then tighten the 3 screws back up. Another area to check is right here. If you move the workhead up and down, there should not be any play, because the actual support for the workhead comes from these bearings that are up in the pivot section. They're taking the whole load of the machine, so if there is some up and down play, it means that the bearings need to be tightened up a little bit. Another thing you want to do occasionally, and that is to take all your covers off your ways and anywhere on the edges where you might get a little bit of dirt getting in, to clean them all off and then put a little extra oil on and put the covers back on. Also, you may, after a longer period of time, say a year, you may get a little bit of wear in the ways. You may get a little bit of side movement or up and down movement on the ways. Now all the ways have tapered adjustable gibs to take up the play. You take your covers off the ends, and in this case, this is a crossway. It's open on the back side of the other end, and this end you take off here, crank it back, and you can see a screw right here. That's actually what moves the gib, and the gib is right behind it. Now this is the small end of the gib, and the large end is down here. So actually tighten it. What you want to do is back this screw off, and then screw the screw on the other end down, and that slides the taper down and puts more pressure on. So we have the tapered gibs on all 3 ways. So if you do get some play in that, just take your covers off and move the gib so that you're moving the fat end of the gib down to tighten up the ways. Also, there are grease fittings on the workhead, and these are used to push grease through the bearings to lubricate and also to purge grit. And these should be used about once a week. Give it a liberal application of grease.